Hey, welcome. So today, we're going to talk about creativity, but maybe not in the way you're used to. Let's just forget the whole idea that it's some rare talent that only a few people are born with. What if instead, it's more like an energy, something that's already inside every single one of us, just waiting for us to open the door? Let's dive in.
So, let me ask you something, and be honest. Have you ever had this thought pop into your head, I'm not creative? Maybe it was in school, or at work, or just you by yourself, staring at a blank canvas or an empty document. You know what? That feeling is super common, and it's actually the very first wall we need to look at.
See, that feeling doesn't just come from nowhere. It's actually a piece of a story, a really powerful story that, well, a lot of us have been telling ourselves for a very long time. So for our first part here, let's actually take a closer look at that story and pull it apart.
It usually starts small, right? Just a little whisper in the back of your mind, not so good at this. It might be something a teacher said once, or maybe you compared yourself to someone else and felt like you came up short. It's just this tiny little seed of doubt that gets planted, suggesting that, maybe you just don't have that thing.
And that tiny seed, man, it can grow so fast. Before you know it, it blossoms into this huge, paralyzing belief. What's the point if you can't be exquisite? You start thinking, well, if I can't be a genius at this, I might as well just quit. We disqualify ourselves. We literally take ourselves out of the game before we've even really started playing.
Okay, so this is probably the most important thing I'm going to say today. That entire story is a lie. It's just a story. It's not the truth. You never lost your creativity. It didn't pack its bags and leave. Your creative essence is always there, bubbling under the surface. It will never die. The story is the cage, but it's not you.
All right, so if we can agree to just set that old, broken story aside, what do we put in its place? This brings us to the absolute heart of this whole explainer. It's about building a brand new way to see yourself, a much more powerful identity.
A conduit. I want you to try this word on for size. Think of it as your new job title. A conduit doesn't have to generate the electricity, right? It's just the channel that lets the electricity flow through it. It's a vessel. And I'm telling you, this one little shift in perspective, it changes everything.
Just look at the contrast here. When you think you have to be the source, oh man, it's all ego, it's all pressure, you have to control it, you have to be brilliant, and your ideas feel like this limited resource that you're going to run out of. But when you see yourself as the conduit, the ego just kind of takes a back seat. It becomes about flow, not force. It feels more like an act of service. And the inspiration, it feels infinite, like it's coming from somewhere way bigger than you. And just like that, the pressure, it's gone.
This incredible feeling of release is just so perfectly captured in a line from the poem Source of Nothing. It talks about having no strain nor stress to bear, just wonderful abandoned I at the behest of a divine call. I mean, can you imagine that? Just being this open, willing channel for some amazing creative impulse to move through.
Okay, but let's be real. What happens when the flow just stops? What about those dry spells? This is a huge, huge source of anxiety for so many of us. It makes you feel like, oh no, I've lost it. The connection is broken. So let's talk about that. To really get this, I think the most beautiful way to look at it is through the metaphor of a tree. Think about it. A tree drops its leaves, it drops its fruit, and it has no fear. Why? Because it trusts the cycle. It doesn't hoard its apples worrying about the winter. It just gives them away freely because it knows deep down that its season to grow will come back around.
And our creativity works in exactly the same way. There's a season to receive, to just soak up the sun and the rain and the dirt of new ideas and experiences. Then there's a season to give, where we share whatever has grown through us. And then, and this is so important, there's a season to rest, to recover. And after that, the whole cycle just begins again.
So the big takeaway here is this. Those quiet times, those creative winters, they are not a sign that you're weak or that you've failed. They are a totally natural and frankly, essential part of the whole process. Learning to trust the season of rest is just as important as enjoying the season of creation. Okay, so now let's zoom out a little bit. Because when you do finally allow something to flow through you and you create something, it doesn't just end with you. Not even close. That one little creative act you perform can set off this amazing, beautiful chain reaction.
It all starts right here, in what one poem calls the world of no form. It's just an idea, right? An image, a little piece of a melody. It's pure potential, living in the invisible world of your imagination.
And then, through you,
Through your hands or your voice or your keyboard, that formless idea gets a body. It becomes a painting or a song or a business plan or even just a really meaningful conversation. You give it form and you send it out into the world.
Now this is where the real magic kicks in. Somebody else sees your creation. They hear it, they experience it, and inside of them it sparks something new. Your expression creates a new intention in them.
And from that spark, a new innovation is born. Maybe that person takes your idea and builds on it in a way you never imagined. Or maybe they're just inspired to finally act on their own creative impulse. See, it's a dance. One creation gives birth to another and another in this endless, beautiful, evolving flow. So, let's recap. We have a new story to tell ourselves. We have a new identity as the conduit. We have a newfound trust in our creative seasons. And we understand this incredible ripple effect. So, what's the one thing that ties this all together? Where does the real work actually happen?
Here it is. The two biggest thieves of our creative energy are right here. Getting stuck in regrets about the past and getting lost in anxiety about the future. Both of them pull us out of the one and only place where creation can actually happen.
And this is the ultimate takeaway. Your point of power is right now. You can't create something yesterday, it's gone. You can't create something tomorrow, it isn't here yet. You can only write the next word, or paint the next stroke, or speak the next idea in this moment. All of your power is focused right here, right now. So I'll leave you with this question. Knowing all of this now, knowing that you are not the source, you are the conduit, knowing that you don't have to force anything, you just have to allow it, what is waiting right now to flow through you?